Welcome to Bible Donuts. This trivia is about Apostle Paul. Are you ready? Let's go! Number 1. How many missionary journeys did Paul undertake before his journey to Rome? A. 1. B. 2. C. 3. D. 4. C. 3. How many missionary journeys did Paul make? Traditionally, we count that Paul made 3 long journeys to share the gospel with Gentile peoples, but these were not Paul's only missionary travels. Number 2. Who did he take with him on his first journey? A. John Mark. B. Titus. C. Timothy. D. Lucius. A. John Mark. When Barnabas and Saul had finished their mission, they returned from Jerusalem, taking with them John, also called Mark. Number 3. What relation was John Mark to Barnabas? A. Brother. B. Uncle. C. Cousin. D. Son. C. Cousin. Biblical scholars Samuel Rolls Driver and Charles Augustus Briggs identified Mark, the cousin of Barnabas, with John Mark, as do John R. Donahue and Daniel J. Number 4. On which island did he preach on his first journey? A. Crete. B. Rhodes. C. Cyprus. D. Kos. C. Cyprus. Cyprus. After being persecuted, some saints fled to this island. Acts 11:19. Paul traveled through Cyprus on his first missionary journey. Acts 13:4-5, as did Barnabas and Mark later. Acts 15:39. Number 5. What was the name of the sorcerer Paul met on this island? A. Lucius. B. Elymas. C. Ananias. D. Eutychus. B. Elymas. Elymas, described as a false prophet and a sorcerer, opposes them, whereupon Paul, who is here referred to for the first time by his Roman name, announces that God intends to make Elymas temporarily blind. Number 6. Who did Paul heal at Lystra? A. Blindness. B. Deafness. C. Cripple. D. Lame. C. Cripple. When Paul was preaching in Lystra, among those listening to him was a man who had been a cripple since birth. Paul saw that he had the faith to be cured, so he said to him in a loud voice, "Stand up straight on your feet." And he sprang up and started to walk. Number 7. What was the name of the god that Barnabas was called at Lystra? A. Jupiter. B. Apollo. C. Mercury. D. Eros. A. Jupiter. Barnabas they called Zeus, and Paul Hermes, because he was the chief speaker. They decided that Barnabas was the Greek god Zeus and that Paul was Hermes, since he was the chief speaker. Number 8. Who was well reported of at Lystra? A. Silas. B. Timothy. C. Titus. D. Barnabas. B. Timothy. Timothy was well thought of by the believers in Lystra and Iconium, KJV, which was well reported of by the brethren that were at Lystra and Iconium. Number 9. What was the name of the city where Lydia was converted? A. Troas, B. Thyatira, C. Neapolis, D. Philippi. D. Philippi. Lydia was the first convert to the Christian faith in the colonial Roman city of Philippi. Acts 16, 11-15, located in the district of Macedonia. Number 10. When in prison, at what time did they pray and sing? A. Third watch, B. Midnight, C. Noon, D. Morning. B. Midnight. Acts 16, 25-34. I'm going to be reading from the English Standard Version. About midnight, Paul and Silas were praying and sing hymns to God. Number 11. To where did Paul and Silas flee? A. Amphipolis, B. Thessalonica, C. Berea, D. Apollonia. C. Berea. As soon as it was night, the believers sent Paul and Silas away to Berea. On arriving there, they went to the Jewish synagogue. Number 12. What inscription was on the altar at Mars Hill? A. The man, B. The unknown God, C. The woman, D. The terrible. B. The unknown God. For as I passed along and observed the objects of your worship, I found also an altar with this inscription: to an unknown God. What therefore you worship in ignorance, this I announce to you. Number 13. What was Paul's trade? A. Fisherman, B. Tent maker, C. Builder, D. Tax collector. B. Tent maker. In his childhood and youth, Paul learned how to work with his own hands. 1 Corinthians 4:12. His trade, tent making, which he continued to practice after his conversion to Christianity, helps to explain important aspects of his apostleship. Number 14. Where was Paul when the Lord spoke to him in a vision? A. Berea, B. Ephesus, C. Corinth, D. Lystra. C. Corinth. Crispus, the synagogue leader, and his entire household believed in the Lord, and many of the Corinthians who heard Paul believed and were baptized. Number 15. How long did Paul spend in Ephesus? A. 1 year, B. 2 weeks, C. 6 months, D. 3 years. D. 3 years. Therefore watch and remember that by the space of 3 years I cease not to warn every one night and day with tears. Thank you for playing. God bless you always.